Released in 1930, The Unholy 3, a film that remains largely forgotten, was the last MGM picture to star Lon Chaney, the most talented actor in silent films, even more talented than Charlie Chaplin. Unlike Chaney's other films, many of which are considered classics, The Unholy 3 is a sound film. It stars Lila Lee, Harry Earls, and of course, Chaney himself. In the movie, Chaney plays Professor Echo, a ventriloquist and criminal, who disguises himself as an old lady, going by the name Mrs. O'Grady, the proud owner of a pet store. He is accompanied by a midget, a strongman, pickpocket, played gracefully by Lila Lee. Using the pet store as a front, the four of them rob and steal from their wealthy clients, consequences not really of any concern to them. The Unholy 3, for so many reasons, demonstrates what Lon Chaney was capable of, once and for all proving that he could, indeed, survive in sound films. Chaney provides emotion and expression, not a single line of dialogue ever wasted or overlooked. Around the time of filming, Chaney was dreadfully sick, often just barely managing to arrive on the set. He was dying from lung cancer, largely due to the fact that he had smoked all of his life, as did most people of his time. Despite his illness, despite the fact that he was dying, Chaney managed to deliver a remarkable performance, one of the greatest ever captured on the silver screen. Chaney died in 1930, just a few months after The Unholy 3 was released. Lila Lee, previously known for portraying good and virtuous characters, plays Rosie, a thief who, over the course of the film, learns the ways of kindness and virtue, all thanks to Hector, played by Elliot Nugent. Out of all of the performances in the film, Lila's stands out the most, perhaps even a little more than the performance of Lon Chaney. Halfway through the film, she goes from bad girl to good girl to confused girl, all within the time frame of 30 minutes. Perhaps more than any other character, Rosie is the most complicated and dynamic. She is torn between choosing Hector, the man she loves, and Echo, the man she respects and fears. There is great chemistry between her and Chaney, both of their performances equally captivating and unique. All throughout the film, Echo remains sexually possessive over Rosie, jealous of any man she sees or speaks to. These dramatic elements, combined with Chaney's unique presence, drive the story forward. Born in 1901, Lila Lee began her career at a very young age, performing in many stage and theater productions, before finally arriving in Hollywood, her entire future just waiting for the opportune moment. She acted in many silent films, performing alongside many talented actors, some of whom were Rudolph Valentino, Gloria Swanson, among many others. Extremely talented and gifted, Lila made the transition to sound, unlike most actresses of the time period, specifically those who didn't have the acting ability to survive in sound films. In the early 1930s, gifted and very beautiful, Lila starred in many films, none more important than The Unholy 3, Chaney's only sound film. Lila continued to act for several more years, never able to recreate her earlier successes. This in part due to her excessive drinking and bad career choices, many of which cost her greatly. Had Lila continued down the path of success, she would have been no question about it, one of the greatest actresses in all of Hollywood, perhaps even greater than Bette Davis and Katharine Hepburn. Harry Earls, best known for playing the midget in The Wizard of Oz, as well as starring in Freaks, Todd Browning's tale of disfigurement and revenge, was a man of many talents. At the time that The Unholy Three was made, he was already in his late 20s, even though he looked much, much younger. 5 years earlier, Harry had starred in the silent version of The Unholy Three. In the sound version, Harry Earls can be difficult to understand, at times even downright incomprehensible, which only adds to the creepiness of his character. Out of all of the characters in the film, the midget is the worst. Almost no humanity inside him. Harry Earls was a very gifted actor, capable of portraying creepiness and sympathy, the latter of which can be seen in Freaks. Despite being Chaney's only sound film, The Unholy Three remains an underrated classic, one that deserves, no, demands, appreciation for its uniqueness. Throughout his entire career, Chaney strived to make people laugh, sometimes cry, for the purpose of conveying humanity to people. Near the end of the film, Chaney says the famous line, "That's all there is to life, a little laugh, a little tear," in order to convey his purpose as an actor. Chaney could make people scream, laugh, and cry, occasionally all at once. Not only was he the man of 1,000 faces, he was also the man of 1,000 voices.